everybody, welcome back to another Craft Break Live. My name is Emma Panuski. I'm a content creator here at Plaid, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this super cute candy corn canvas using our new Drizzle pouring paint. So if you haven't heard about Drizzle before, it is a really great fluid art pouring paint. It is very fun to use. It's made right here in the USA. It's water-based, non-toxic, multi-surface, indoor-outdoor, all of those things that you definitely want in a pouring paint. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I made this canvas today, step by step. I decided to use some really cute pastel colors and kind of steer away from the traditional candy corn colors that we know and love and incorporate some pinks and some more of those pastel themes. So I'm really excited to show you guys exactly how I made it so that you can make your very own at home. So let's go ahead and get started. So the things that you're going to need to follow along is a stretched canvas, some FolkArt acrylic paint to base coat your canvas with. For this color, I used FolkArt Cameo Blush. You're going to want to have, of course, your Drizzle paints. The great thing about Drizzle is that we have a lot of standalone colors for you to choose from, and then we also have some really great 4-piece kits, as well as some really awesome Drizzle tools. So once you kind of start dabbling in your Drizzle pours, then maybe you can incorporate some tools and just have a lot of fun. The main thing about this Drizzle paint is that it's really, really fun to use. It's great for all ages. It's great for parties. It's great for celebrations. It is a lot of fun. And I do want to mention that Drizzle is available at Michael's and on plaidonline.com. And I'm pretty sure we have a link in this video to show you exactly where you can pick some up for yourself. You're going to want to have some original Mod Podge, either matte, satin, or gloss, whatever you prefer. And then we're going to want to have some non-stick baking trays. So just some regular cookie trays, whatever you use at home. You just want to make sure that it's non-stick because we're going to do something really fun today and actually pour directly onto the baking tray, do our traditional swirling around. And then once that dries, that's what we're going to use to cut out these shapes and adhere them onto our canvas. You're going to want to have some wax paper, and then some, like a pencil and some printer paper to sketch a really easy, simple candy corn design, which I'll walk you through. So let's get started. The first thing that we want to do is I want to show you guys how we pour directly onto our baking tray. So this is one of my favorite colors. This is our Canyon. So all we're going to do is we're going to just directly pour right onto our baking trays. And another great thing is we call these paint skins. And we kind of derived the idea because we usually use these trays or something similar to it as kind of a buffer from our workspace so that we don't get it totally messy. So we would have the canvas over the tray to catch all those extra drips. And then we found out that if we kind of shift and move the actual tray that has all of the excess runoff paint, once that dries, you can actually peel it off and cut it out into really fun shapes. And so you're not wasting any paint, and it's just a really great sustainable thing for Drizzle. All right, so next we're going to add some lava, this really pretty vibrant red color. And you don't have to put a lot of paint onto your tray. A little bit goes a long way, which is nice. Some neon pop. And then last but not least, Heart of Gold. So we have a variety of metallic colors in our Drizzle line, as well as some color shifting colors and some really fun glitter colors. You can see that we used some of the glitters in, you can see we used some gold glitter in the yellow part of the candy corn, and we used some kind of translucent white glitter in the pink. And then of course we use our metallic in our more red pour. Okay, so once your baking tray looks like mine, now's the fun part. You're just going to swirl it all around, just shifting the weight of the tray until you get a design that you're happy with. And you also just, want to make sure that the paint reaches all 4 corners of your tray. So The cool thing is it's totally up to you. You can stop now if you're pleased with your pattern. I will say the more that you keep swirling, the smaller your pattern will get. The more rings and ripples you'll find in your pattern, the more you keep swirling. Does that make sense? I guess I also should mention that Stephen White is in the studio with us. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, Emma. How are you?
Good. So if you have any questions throughout our live stream, make sure to comment them. Stephen's looking at them all, and he can answer those or relay them to me.
Yeah, I think it is definitely worth noting that the more you swirl, the smaller your patterns are going to get. And if you're cutting out paint skins in a really small way, that's going to be like something you want to pay attention to, because if you just have one big solid color, you know, you might not get the same result.
That's a great question, Stephen. What Stephen's saying, if you're cutting out a smaller shape, then you probably do want to have a more concentrated pattern because you want to have as many colors in that small shape as you can get. That's a great point, Stephen. So once you are pleased with your baking tray, you will see that there's a tiny bit of bubbles in your paint. And so that they don't dry having bubbles in them, it's really simple. All you have to do is tap on the bottom of your tray, or if you're making, it's kind of like baking if you're making macaroons or something. You just want to tap it on your table. Either way, and those bubbles come right out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to set this to dry overnight, and then when we come back, we have some things that look like this. So I already went ahead just to make it a little shorter so that you guys didn't have to watch me cut out so many different candy corn shapes. I cut a few out already, but it's super easy to peel from your nonstick tray, and then you just get something like this, your little paint skin, which you can do tons of different things with. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys really quickly just how to make a really simple candy corn pattern that we can use for our template. So I'm just taking a piece of printer paper here, and I'm going to draw a triangle. So to start that, I'm going to draw the base of my triangle, and then kind of at the, you don't have to break out your ruler or anything. I'm going to mark the top of my triangle about halfway at the base, and then I'm going to connect the base of my triangle to the tip of it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to round out those edges. So coming in the inside of our triangle, we're just going to round that out. If you don't feel confident doing this, of course you can print out a picture of a candy corn from online, but it's really simple to do, and I think you guys can do it. So that's our candy corn. So now we're going to draw the lines of our candy corn, and whenever I'm making a pattern that I intend to cut out into several pieces, it's always nice to just number them. So once you do your candy corn template, I did one from earlier that I've been working with. So this is going to be our little candy corn. And I'm going to show you guys really quick just how simple it is to use on your paint skin. So this is our number 2. So I'm going to cut it on the back because I found that the best thing that, the best kind of marker or pencil that sticks to the back of your paint skin is a permanent marker. So I'm going to turn it over so that we don't get any of that black permanent marker on the pretty side that we're going to be adhering to our canvas. So take your marker, then remove your template, just like that. So now you're just going to cut it out. You don't need any fancy scissors, just some regular craft scissors will work just fine to cut through your paint skin. I like to cut them down to a workable size because the paint skin is so flimsy. It's not like, cardstock or vinyl. It doesn't like to hold its shape. So I just like to cut them down to workable sizes just to make it a little bit easier on myself. Then cut out our shape here. Ta-da! It's that simple. You can cut a bunch of these out, and really, once you kind of get this technique down, you can make so many fun projects with drizzle and paint skins. Okay, so that is one way to cut out these super cute marbled poured shapes. Another way to do it is if you pour a canvas and you're not in love with your canvas and you don't really know how to display it like this. Also, I want to show you guys, this is our shifting drizzle paint. You can see just how cool that is.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure to check out either Michael's or plaidonline.com to see all of the wonderful drizzle paints we have to offer. So if you're not totally in love with the canvas that you poured, you don't really know if you want to hang it in your house or give it to anybody, and you just want to make something different out of it, then you sure can. So taking a canvas like this, I'm going to grab an X-Acto knife, and so this is a stretched canvas. It has to be a stretched canvas. You can't use canvas board or wood or anything. And I am just going to cut along the frame of my stretched canvas. And then I was talking to Kirsten too, and we were talking about this project today. It would also be really cute once you cut out the inside, if you want to Mod Podge the kind of protruding pieces back and Mod Podge them around the frame of your canvas, then that would be a really cute frame too. You could glue that onto a picture or something. Be a really cute idea.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to just cut this baby out. Okay, my X-Acto blade is wanting to come out, so I'm going to switch to my scissors.
Better safe than sorry, right?
I know.
But the good thing about this technique is that you don't have to be exact at all. I mean, even though we are using an X-Acto blade, or we were, you're not like cutting it to the shape like you had before. You're just trying to give yourself a surface area to cut with.
Exactly. And I will say too that the paint skins are really easy to work with. I don't want you guys to think at home that they're not. They just are a little bit flimsy, and it just takes a little bit of getting used to. But if you do this technique, it is so easy to work with. It's just like cutting out like really stiff fabric.
Right.
Okay, so part 3 of our template. We're going to cut out a couple more of these. And when I am tracing my pattern onto my paint skins, I kind of I don't like to go in a row or in a column, because then sometimes you kind of get repeating designs from your pour, if that makes sense. And I want them to all look really different and really unique.
That's a good tip.
Let's do one more.
And I like what you're doing here of having the third part of your candy corn be all from one paint skin, and then the second part from the second paint skin. That way it kind of matches.
Exactly. You still get, you know, some variety and all that, but it does end up matching in the end, which is always nice. Ooh, look at that shifting drizzle. Do you have any questions or comments, Stephen, while I'm cutting out our candy corn shapes?
Paulette says that this is so pretty.
Oh, thank you, Paulette.
Yeah, if you guys do have any questions, let us know.
Absolutely. And if you do decide to do a project similar to this and you want to post your creations on social media, make sure to hashtag plaidcrafts so that we can see what you guys are making with Drizzle.
And I see what you mean, that this canvas is a lot sturdier. And it's easier to hold in your hand while you're cutting.
Absolutely.
The paint skins are super easy to cut through, but they are like floppy and flimsy, like you said. So.
get one last one. Oop. Okay, so I'm going to put my scraps aside. I'm going to take out my painted canvas, which again we painted with FolkArt acrylic cameo blush, a really pretty pale peachy color. So now, before I break out my Mod Podge, one thing I like to do is I just kind of like to assemble my pieces onto my canvas just to see how they're going to look. Lining them up. Cute. So we kind of want to make them go in different directions just to add some interest into our finished project. And another thing, whenever we're kind of creating a pattern or a piece that's kind of like a pattern like this, sometimes it's nice to have some of your pattern coming off of your surface, just to make it look more interesting and make it look like the pattern continues. So that's what I'm going to keep in mind when I'm doing this. So see, we'll put that guy there. And the paint skins are a little bit tacky, so he'll hold on there. And then kind of have them coming off the side.
So Peggy says, I have a pack of canvas sheets for my printer that I need to try this on instead. Maybe I can even print a design ahead and pour on the opposite side.
Canvas sheets. Is that like canvas board?
Maybe.
You could definitely paint this on canvas board. If you're talking about the technique that we tried earlier, when we cut out the canvas from the frame, I don't know if that would work quite as well. It might be a little tricky to get the design out, but you could certainly try. We'd love to know how it works out. Have this guy peeking in. Oh, so cute. And one guy like that. And then, once you are happy with your placement, I'm going to take some of my Mod Podge. I'm using Mod Podge matte, but you can use matte, satin, gloss, whatever you prefer. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take a little sheet of wax paper or parchment paper because I prefer to apply my Mod Podge to my paint skin rather than my surface whenever I'm using or trying to Mod Podge paint skins to something. Okay, I'll show you guys this one. So first I'm going to take my canvas that we cut, applying some Mod Podge to the back.
Peggy says that her canvas sheets are the same texture as a framed canvas.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure that would work then.
Yeah, give it a try.
I'm going to take my pink one. And I will say, a little bit of Mod Podge goes a long way on the paint skins. Okay, and I'm just going to wrap my, see that? I'm going to wrap my paint skin all around the corner of my canvas. Okay, and then you just do that to the rest of your candy corns, and then you have a piece that looks like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed following along with me today. Again, if you decide to make something similar to this and post it on social media, make sure to hashtag plaidcraft so we can see what you're making with Drizzle. Again, you can find Drizzle at plaidonline.com and at Michaels or at michaels.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.